and welcome to the Miss Kenna channel. My name is Hulda Kenna, and if you are new, please subscribe to this channel and give this video a big thumbs up. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about things that I learned during my first semester of grad school. So if you are a returning subscriber or a returning viewer of my channel, you know that I have been doing grad school online. So with the program that I chose, it came with something called asynchronizing learning. So asynchronizing learning is what most people would refer to as when your professor basically puts up the information, lectures, the Zoom meetings, and you basically just tune in when you want to. I think that's the key to what asynchronizing learning is. You're doing everything on your own, and it's up to you to basically turn things in on time. No one's going to be there asking you, did you turn in your homework, or did you do this, or do you do that? Nobody's holding you accountable, and I think that's what is really hard about this program. So most people, when they think about online programs, they think that it's so easy and it's like free-flowing. You have the liberty to work, do whatever you want, which you can if you obviously do things in a timely manner. Or now that we have talked about what kind of learning my my grad program incorporates, now let's move on to things that I learned and things that I think it's important if you are in the same situation, or if you're going to be in the same situation that I am in right now. So I know that right now August is knocking on the door so quickly. Like, time is just flying by so quick, and some of you guys are probably going into grad school, and this is definitely going to be relevant to you. The things that I have learned during my first semester, and of course the tips that I'm going to be giving to you, are all relevant to if you are doing an asynchronizing learning program or if you are doing a traditional grad learning program. So on that note, I suggest pulling out your notebook or a piece of paper, or if you're watching this on the phone, you could pause and you can, put down the important points so that you can remember and use or utilize this later. Well, that's what I would do. The number one important tip in any grad school program is to be organized. So earlier on in the program, I uploaded a video and I basically organized myself, my surroundings, my computer, my notebooks. I basically made sure that I was being accountable of what each course required me to do, the syllabus. So just be organized, however being organized means to you. So if you are at home and your bedroom is your only place for you to learn, you need to organize your bedroom. Or if you have a desk or a location, then you need to organize that location. Someone might be laughing at me saying this, like, really, do you need to say this? But yeah, you need to do that because I actually did that, okay? I, at some point, submitted in an assignment for a different class for the completely wrong class. And if it wasn't that the professor was nice, I shouldn't have really gotten any points because that was me not being organized, and that was just my fault. That had nothing to do with the professor, okay? Keep some form of a planner. So whether you keep up with your deadlines with a calendar on your phone, a calendar on your iPad, or actual planner that you have, keep your planner organized in terms of deadlines and when assignments are due, because deadlines are deadlines, okay? And in grad school, well, at least in the program that I'm in, there is no, if you turn things late, there's a half credit. If you didn't turn it in at the right time, you don't get the credit, you get the zero, and everybody's moving on. Certain discussion boards or certain homework assignments are optional. Yes, even if they are optional and you feel like you do not need to do it, do not operate based on how you feel or your emotion. Do it, because in the end, those points are going to rack up, and that could be your those points can really help you if you're the B level to be even at the A level. So do those optional homework assignments. Everybody has so many, well, not everybody, but I feel like most people or most students have so many ways of writing your notebooks. You have your iPads, you have your computers, you have a notebook. Between these three things, sometimes it's hard to really think about where you should, write your notes because you have so many options. The best way to regurgitate information is by writing, okay? So if you're in a Zoom meeting and your professor is talking, maybe writing with a pen and pencil might not be helpful at that moment. Maybe you need to use your computer, and then later on you need to rewrite it either on your iPad or in your notebook. And this is what's going to help you memorize information quickly and regurgitate information from your class lectures and, any notes moving on that you have that week. With the program that I'm in, I was able to work. However, other people are not able to work. The amount of workload that the program requires you, the amount of hours that it requires for you to be dedicated doing those assignments and meeting up with your deadlines, you might not be able to work. And for somebody else might be able to work. And so everybody is different. So do not automatically go into your program thinking that, yes, because this is online, I'm going to have time to work. I'm going to have time to work and make some money on the side. Sometimes this is a sacrifice that you have to make. Now, in my case, I made it work, okay? I made it work somehow. It's not a perfect system, but it's a system that's been helping me out. And it's a system that works for me. And that's what's important. Do things that work for you, okay? Don't worry about what Susie's doing. Don't worry about what Hannah's doing. Worry about what you're going to do to get done with what you have to do that week. And if you're a working person, a working lady, a working man, then you need to also make time so that you're able to be on time on your work and get your money. Which brings me to, I feel like, the most important point, which is to manage your time. Time management is everything, okay? The number one enemy for any student is not your other classmates. It's not the professor. It's time, because right now it's 2:36 and I feel like I have done the minimum, things that I'm supposed to do for the day. So make sure that you have a timeline of what you want to do each day, or just a plan. Okay, just have a plan each day. Like maybe in the morning, I'm going to read this many pages. And then in the afternoon, I'm going to start writing for my first assignment. And then in the afternoon, I'm going to go back to the Zoom meetings and rewrite those notes. Have a plan and manage your time, because time is your number one enemy. I can't say that enough. Something that I feel like is very important is for you to ask questions, okay? Just because you are isolated from your classmates and from your professor doesn't mean that you should not ask questions. In your Zoom meetings, you can ask questions, okay? You can type it in, or you can put on your voice recording and you can ask the professor questions as they are lecturing. You can also send that message to your classmates if you don't want to necessarily ask your professors. Based on the kind of portal that your program or your grad school has, you might be able to send instant messages to either your professor or to certain classmates. So I say utilize that, because you never know what other students might know. And if you really get in contact with the other students in your class, you might realize that maybe there was a cheaper version of the book that you could have purchased, or that there's an easier way to do a certain assignment. And I found this very useful when I started doing this. I was at that point in time where I'm like, well, I'm isolated from everybody. I can only call my professor, email my professor. I didn't really want to email students, but when I did, it was a total game changer, okay, for my learning and for my grades moving forward, because I was speaking to students who were obviously having a higher understanding than I was. So through the discussions, I would just go through them. Okay, I went through the discussions, right? Whoever I thought like, they have a really good response, like, and it's every time, and the professor is giving them like good feedback all the time, like, good job, you're doing excellent. Those are the students that you need to be talking to. Okay, those are the students that you need to be emailing so you can get, you can get access to the plug. Okay, so you can figure out what they're doing. Just ask them, okay, what are you doing? How are you learning this? How are you understanding this? And I promise you, the other kids in the class are so nice. You probably don't even know because you never talked to them, right? But they're going to be so nice, and they're going to take time to help you out. I promise you. Because one thing in grad school is that it's less competition. Okay, like when you were in your undergrad or even in high school, everybody was kind of competing to be like the top 10 in your high school. But when you get to the grad level, it's really less competition. Everybody really wants to help each other out so that everybody can move on to the next level or move on to the next week's assignment. Something that I did not experience during my first semester was actually group projects. And I was really fine with it because I don't really do well. Like, I don't do well in group projects, you guys, because I'm that person who's like, if people are not going to be doing it and doing their work and they're going to be waiting 3 days to respond to me or 3 days till the deadline before they start doing something, I'd rather just do it all by myself. So I'm so glad that I did not have any group projects. But if you do, I'm gonna pray for you. Okay, if you do, I'm gonna get down on my knees and I'm gonna pray for you. But what you do in those situations is that you find all the ways that you can to get in contact with that person or the people who are in your group. Or if you have the option of choosing who's gonna be in your group, make sure you're choosing those students who have a better understanding each time of what's going on in the class, because it's gonna be easier to work with those people. Focused people are always focused, and people who are not focused are always not focused and trying to catch up to the focused people. So keep that in mind whenever you are working in group projects. And honestly, it's not so bad. But like I said, it depends on the people that you are in a group with, whether the professor selects them or whether you are given the chance to select them. This is a rule that I always feel like is important. Do not buy your books, rent them, because you're not going to have space to put them. And even if you do, it's just going to end up being like a mess because you don't really look at those textbooks after the next term, so there is no point in making the $100 purchase if you can rent the book for $36. Okay, like seriously. I always rented my books. I never really bought my books. Yeah, and I learned that obviously after some time, but rent your books, you guys, don't buy them. So there was a short period of time between when I had to start my first semester. So what I ended up doing was renting my books, but I rented ebooks instead. So using Chegg or Amazon, you have the option to rent ebooks. And I thought those were so much easier. Some of those books give you the option of highlighting, or sometimes it might have an audio and it'll actually read the textbook to you. And that is so much easier sometimes. I like that feature, and there's so many other features that comes with those ebooks. I found it so much easier. If you're in that situation where you cannot get the physical copy, if you don't have enough time between now and your first classes when they start and when your first assignments are due, I suggest renting the PDF or the ebooks for your textbook. So thank you guys so much if you watched this video all the way to the end, and I will see you guys in the next video. I hope these tips were helpful to you. Leave me a comment down below if you are a grad student and you are either doing the traditional route or you're doing asynchronized and learning. Let me know about your tips and tricks, because I'm not no expert here, okay? We're all learning here. So leave me a comment down below, okay? Bye guys, and I'll see you in the next video.